When we enter a state of crisis, we must figure out how we got there in the first place. Financial analysts are unaware of why we have achieved this level of fragility in the markets as debt continues to compound. If governments continue to make the same mistakes, we will surely achieve the same results. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we are going to talk about debt. We are going to talk about the crisis that we are in today. I have many issues to discuss, as always, beginning with this. Commercial bank loan creation year-over-year change. Remember that this is the percentage year-over-year change and not the total amount of loans. Regardless, what we can see is a decline. Less loans happening is not a good thing for the economy. There needs to be that continuous increase in the amount of loans given out. People need to buy homes, people need to buy big ticket items, they need to open up businesses. We need to see an expansion. Yet the year-over-year change shows a decline. This here is worrisome because as we approach these difficult times, we need something to help us grow out of that. And loans, essentially, you could look at it in two ways. We got to be realistic about it though and realize that people are not buying big ticket items with cash, they're buying it with loans. If they're not buying or not loaning, then you would see these obviously being a problem for us. And that's the way that it is. And that leads into this. The last time this happened, we're talking about commercial and industrial loans in bank credit. It was 2008, financial crisis. I think we all know what happened. And then you look at the same thing back around the dot-com boom and bust. And then we're where we are at today, showing a clearly the same problem as in the past two times, but it's very early. But it is a fact. For the first period of no growth for at least 6 months since the 2008-2011 aftermath of the financial crisis, and prior to that, after the early 2000s recession. That's a fact. You can't change that. Whether or not it's going to reverse and pick up, I don't know. But it seems to be pretty constant. It's either going up or it's going down. Going up? Could it be going down? I don't know. We're going to see what happens, but to me, it's clear. It's a fact. We need to have an expansion of credit, okay? That's just the way this economy works. But that's not happening now in this particular instance. It's starting to reverse. If it reverses, will it head back into the same type of contraction that occurred 2 times before? Or will this be something different? I don't know. Keep your eyes on this. Millions of Americans don't want to work part-time. The U.S. economy added 98,000 jobs in March, the smallest gain in nearly a year, after adding more than 200,000 in January and February. Wait a minute. I was told that the economy was doing well. I was told that things are starting to pick up, that jobs are coming back to the U.S. What's happening here? What is this all about? Have I been lied to yet again? I thought everything was just fine. Unemployment fell to a 10-year low of 4.5%. Wow. I mean, so many people now are off the books in terms of the unemployment rate. 4.5%. This is going to go down to 0% practically, the way that it's looking. I mean, you could have half the population unemployed and the numbers, let's say 100% of the people were unemployed, and they'll be able to show you a 0% unemployment rate. That's how crazy these numbers are. They don't represent anything to do with reality. But the real unemployment rate, Here we go. Includes part-time workers who would rather be working full-time, and the job hunters who gave up searching work was 8.9%, although that was down from 9.2. Okay, so you're looking at 9%, right? I think it's a lot higher than that, but let's just, for a moment, let's just say 9%. That's what they were looking at. I mean, this type of percentage is very, very serious. Doesn't account for a lot of the calculations used in 1980, 1990. But at the very least, we are looking at a more realistic number. Part-time work is still a contentious alternative for many workers. Amazon's going to create 30,000 part-time jobs in the US. And of those, 25,000 will be warehouse, 5,000 are home-based customer service positions. Goes on. So Amazon's creating jobs. That's great. Unfortunately, they're part-time. And part-time jobs pay part-time salaries. And this is not a good thing for the future of the US because there needs to be full-time, good wages, and having that ability. You don't want contract work. You want full-time employment. You want people to be steady and stable so that they can make investments into the future, so on and so forth. This is what I see with the economy. I'm just trying to just tell it like it is. I don't want the economy to do bad. People always say that. I think it's funny. People say, fearmonger, and you're inciting this to get worse and worse. Look, wouldn't it be nice to be able to take the money that you earn, your savings and everything else, put it into a stock that gives you dividends, and you just get paid over and over again. The stock appreciates, and you just, every quarter, you just get this paycheck in your bank account. I mean, wouldn't that be nice and easy? It would be so easy. It would be so great. But I'm not going to do that because I'm concerned. I'm worried about the possibilities that there's bail-ins, that your stocks, as far as I'm considered, these are not secured at all. There's no telling what they'll do. And anyway, I'm not going to rant. Let's move on. This here, I thought this was good. This is Visual Capitalist, a great site. You're looking at how people are spending their money over time, what they're spending their money on. And it just shows you, it might be hard to read here, but essentially what we see is these different categories, alcohol, tobacco, education, healthcare, so on, and different years. So a survey as of different years, 1941 up to 2014. On the y-axis, you see the amount of money being spent. Okay. What I see here is marginal decrease in tobacco, for example. Looking at healthcare, increase over the years, very clear. One of the things, let's look at this here. Clothing declining. I think this is largely due in part to the slave labor, offshoring jobs. Food prices declining. I believe that's to do largely in part with the agribusiness with processed foods, things like that. I think that's why. And housing has skyrocketed in the past decades. Skyrocketing. Certain things have declined, marginal decreases, but you look at it, healthcare, drastic expansion, housing, drastic expansion. And people, their actual disposable income has declined significantly. Why? Because you're spending more on healthcare, you're spending more on housing. You need these things. Certain things you need. And a lot of these needs, not the wants, the needs have increased. And you see the actual amount of money that has been spent. The cheap processed food garbage, maybe that's declined in price, but the actual produce has increased dramatically. All right. Budget negotiators struck a deal late Friday that could make New York the largest state to offer tuition-free, love that word, free, let's put some quotes around that, free, public higher education. You're going to be able to go to university for free. That's great, right? Sort of evens the playing field so that individuals who couldn't afford to go to school, college, universities, they'll be able to do that. And, you know, I can see in one way how that's good. Right now we have a $1 trillion bubble in the US for the student loans, expanding to be one of the biggest bubbles continuing. And you're going to be able to hide that in such a way because there's not going to be a loan necessarily. You're just going to be able to go. You just apply and you get in, and that's the way it is. I think this is a big mistake because there's no such thing as free anything. Nothing in life is free in this way. The government is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And what is it about education that people don't understand? You don't get good education in most cases. You get powerful propaganda. And that's what school is about. It's about really programming people into becoming obedient slaves. The best education you get is the one that you do on your own. The books that you read in your own time, all of the school that I went through, I didn't learn not even 1% of the amount that I had learned with the countless books that I had read after my education, so-called education finished. And I'm sure most of you feel the same way. I took it upon myself to take book after book after book, and the books that I wanted to read. I didn't have to have that school force feed me some garbage. I went on my own. I read the books. I, went down the rabbit hole, and I continued to do so. And I hope that people do the same thing. Look, people want to go to school because they want to get their 9-to-5 job, and they want to get as good of a job as possible, right? They don't want to have to work that 9-to-5 earning, let's say, $30,000 a year, when ultimately they can work a 9-to-5 job making $100,000 a year, if possible. I see it as a different situation, different topic for this video. Let's just continue. And all I'm going to say is things have changed over the years. It's not what it used to be, and the government is going to expand as a result of this. Okay, let me just move on. Last but not least, unless you've been living under a rock, you know what has happened. The U.S. sent over 59 Tomahawk missiles into Syria, the air base, as a response, apparently, to a nerve agent attack. Okay. Trump is apparently reported to be saying that he would do it again. As a response, Iran and Russia threatened to react to the U.S. aggression in Syria. And Boris Johnson said, Putin, you got to pull your troops out. That's not going to happen, obviously. This is a quote. We will respond to any aggression by the U.S. in Syria. That's powerful. This concerns me. This is real. I mean, I've been talking about this for years. Since 2012, I think. I've been talking about this. And people have said, you're a fearmonger, this and that. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It could happen any day, any moment right now. This could escalate to World War III very quick. The U.S. has been sticking their nose in to Syria. And look at what's happened with Iraq. Look at what has happened to Yemen. Look at what has happened to just name them. The list goes on and on. The expansion of the wars going on into North Africa, even further down into Africa. We could see the troops being expanded. It's a policy that goes far beyond any administration. It just continues. This is bad news. It's risky. And, you know, I wanted to really talk more about this. I wanted to make this the title of the video, but YouTube doesn't like that too much. But I'm going to bring it out anyway. I can't put the link in the description below, but I'm sure you've been reading all about this, seeing it in the news. I'm just speaking out against it. I think this is terrible. I don't know what really happened. It could be a false flag. All I'm going to say is that we have no business sticking our nose into what's going on in these countries. Middle East, North Africa, anywhere. We don't have any business in it. We should protect our own borders. And, you know, funding rebels who just so happen to be Al-Qaeda, just so happen to be Al-Nusra, is it, you know, Islamic State, is it Caliphate, is it anything, okay? Whatever name you want to call it, I don't care. These individuals are doing a lot of damage over there. We're funding it. We are training them. We are now reportedly even on the ground. I don't know what's going on. We should get out of there. This could quickly escalate to World War III. And I'm really worried. I want to know what your thoughts are on this, as well as the rest of the video. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. Share it wherever you can. That helps me a lot. When you comment on the video, that helps me as well. I try to respond. You'll never see another YouTuber out there who responds more than me. I respond to people. Why? Because you took the time to comment to me and to others. So I take the time to reply to those comments. I hope you appreciate that very much. That's something that I believe so strongly in. You see all these other YouTubers out there, other analysts that come on, they get interviewed. These people are the gurus. They know everything. They know everything that's going on, apparently. I don't play like that. I believe that what you have to say is very important, and I do take it seriously. Last but not least, if you found the video informative, I know you will find my books, The Money GPS, and my new release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. So, the first book, that's about the 4 asset classes and how to profit from that. It's called, one of the themes in there is the Money GPS formula. That's how to take your assets and how to have enough passive income coming from these assets to pay off your expenses. The second book, the new book, is more about, well, familiar topics, but more about the becoming self-sufficient, reducing your monthly expenses. And in doing so, the two of these together, the Money GPS strategy from the new book and the Money GPS formula, formulate this great synergy. And I know that many people who have read both books will see that and will realize, whoa, what a revelation we have here. Truly mean that. So check those out. You can go to Amazon. They have a look inside feature. So you can actually flip through the pages of the book and see if you like it. Take care. If you're still here, a couple people have said there's some issue with the sound. Let me know if you have issues with the sound on this video, particularly it wasn't coming out of either the left ear or the right ear for some people. It was very low volume. Let me know. I tried to do some things. Hopefully I fixed it. Let me know, please. Thanks.